Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we're going to go through my January TBR. I'm going to do this TBR in a couple of different ways. First and foremost, I will be playing Lost in the Library, which is a TBRathon game board, and I am really excited to get to it. I am going to try and beat the game board. This game board does have no start and no finish, and so my way of beating the game board will be to visit all of the rooms. That's my goal. We'll see if I accomplish that. I'm hoping that that doesn't give me too many books because I do have a couple of reads that are like obligations that I have to get through in January. Maybe the game board will allow me to insert those into my TBR, my planned TBR. I also have plans to do the map of stories, which is the TBRathon. It doesn't have to be a year-long challenge. You could do it as a month-long challenge, but I am going to make it a year-long challenge. My goal for the map of stories is to accomplish one prompt each month. I'm not going to try and stress out too much. I really want this year or this next year, since I'm filming this in December, I really want 2026 to be a year where I am really just picking books that I want to read instead of letting things dictate what books I pick up. Not that I'm not going to have plans and like vlogs or ideas that I have books that I want to read for those ideas. Those things are all going to happen because I am a content creator, but I really want to be mindful of making sure that I'm not just picking up a book because I have a video idea for it. I want to pick up a book because I actually want to read it. With that said, I do want to do the year-long challenge, but I'm going to kind of take it slow and just do one prompt per month for the map of stories. I would like to visit all of the locations. So there's 12 different locations. That's perfect. I'm going to do one a month and I'll complete the map of stories by the end of the year. So I also want to put that into this TBR. So lots of things going on, lots of moving parts. We'll see my first TBR of the year, how it goes, whether or not it is super chaotic or if I feel like it's manageable at the end of this. I'm fingers crossed that it's going to be a manageable TBR to start out the new year. But without further ado, let's get to me and my roles. We have our lovely TBRathon Lost in the Library game board beside me. So I am going to be doing all of my roles at once just so you guys can see. And I'll talk about the books that I chose after because I have no idea what this game is going to do. I am going to make it my goal to try and get through all of the rooms. So I don't want to land on all of the rooms, but I want to at least make it through all of them. That's my goal. I'm hoping that this gives me 5 or 6 books because I do have some other books that I need to read in January that will be going on my TBR as well. So that's fingers crossed that the game board is nice to me. I am going to start with the community room. Leandra said wherever you start, whatever room you start, that's going to be your first prompt. So the community room, I'm going to do something for the community, which was kind of left up to interpretation. I'm going to take this as some time for me to watch booktube because I am behind on a lot of my favorite creators. And so that's what I'm going to do. Maybe the 1st of January, I'm just going to spend some time sitting down, picking 5 or 6 of my favorite creators and watching some of their videos, which actually is amazing because it will give me time to watch some of their beginning of the year content or end of the year content, depending on what they have posted already. So I'm kind of excited about it. So that's going to be my first prompt for TBRathon. I do have my dice up on my phone, so we're going to see what we get. I think I'm going to try, obviously there's no straight path because there's a whole bunch of different things and places that I could go, but I am going to try and do the most straightforward path around the game board and maybe make a little bit of a detour to adult fiction in the middle. So that's my game plan. We'll see how it works. Let's see what I get for my first roll. Okay, so I got a 3. So I can either move down to nonfiction or I can move down to TBR, which wouldn't be bad. I could move up to 20 minutes of booktube, which I'm already doing, so I don't know that I want to do that, or I can move over to 2026 goal. So I think that's where I'm going to go because I do have a lot of goals that I would like to get to. So that's going to be my first roll. My first prompt will be a 2026 goal. So let's roll again and see where else I can go. So I either need to go to manga or to, I got another 3. I either need to go to manga or adult fiction to hit those 2 rooms. So if I get another 3, I can literally go over to manga or I can go down to adult fiction. And I think I've read some manga in the month of December, so I think I'm feeling adult fiction more. So I think that's where my heart's at. So we're going to stop by adult fiction. And now I need to go back up to that manga corner as well, just to make sure I hit that room. But yeah, I definitely have some adult fiction reads. So let's see what my next roll is. Oh, there we go. A 2. Okay. I can either, okay, if I want to go back up to manga, I can go up to TBR, or I can go over to book on the cover. Or I guess I could go down to new or old read, but that's kind of a longer path to get up to manga. So I think I'm going to go up to TBR. That's an easy prompt, just picking something on my TBR. So that'll allow me to get some of those reads that I have to read in January. Okay, what's next? Okay, a 6. Finally, we got a large roll. So if I roll a 6 and I'm trying to get through manga, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of your comfort zone, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, book on the cover. I think out of those two, I'm going to go for out of your comfort zone, even though we'll see what I end up deciding for that one. I do like to get out of my comfort zone, so it's nice to have those prompts out there that push me a little bit. And I think I have one in mind, but I'm going to think about it before I commit. So, okay, we got a 6 and we've hit 3 rooms. We have 3 rooms to go. Let's see what our next roll is. Oh, my dice. There we go. A 6. Okay. So with the 6, I know there's one little place down here by me. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I could get through 2 rooms. That might be what I do. I guess I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then read a debut, but I'm not getting through 2 rooms with 1 roll. I think I like getting through 2 rooms with 1 roll. So we're going to land on 5-star prediction. And ooh, I haven't thought about 5-star predictions for 2026. But that's a good prompt. Oh, Andy is going to join us, so you're going to see a little orange ball of fluff. Let me see if I can get him to come lay on my lap. Or not. Let's see what my next roll is while I have a cattail in my face. Okay, I rolled a 2. So, oh, that would get me to my next room if I want to choose nonfiction. Do I want to choose nonfiction, guys? Or do I want to try and go up and around and I can hit renewal, which I'm pretty sure is a reread? I think I'm going to risk it so I don't have more books, because I think I already have, let me see, how many rolls did I get? I had 2026 goal. I had adult fiction, and then I went back up to TBR, out of your comfort zone. So that's 4 books. And then I had a roll of 6. Then I went 5-star prediction. So that's already 5 books. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for nonfiction. Woohoo! I can do it. It'll be fine. And that means that's my last roll, which wasn't bad. The game board wasn't horrible to me. I got 1 more book than I really wanted because I really wanted it to be 5, but that's okay. I can do this. It'll be good. So let's scoot on over to future me, who has figured out what books I'm going to read for all of these prompts. Hopefully I've got some good ones in mind. Okay, that was not bad. I got 7 rolls in total, 6 books. The first roll counts, or the first location counts, as I talked to you guys about. I'm going to do the community prompt, and I'm going to watch some booktube at the beginning of the year. I think that's going to be lovely. The second prompt was my first book prompt, which was a 2026 goal. And I actually haven't told you guys about my 2026 goals yet, so you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek in this TBR video. One of my goals pertains to my physical TBR. So I'm not going to give you much more information because I will talk to you in detail about what I mean by has to focus on my physical TBR, because I have a stipulation in mind. But the book that I have chosen for this is Talon Sister by Jen Williams. I am really excited to get to this one, and I really do think that it has a potential for being a best book of the year, which is crazy that I'm going to read it in January, but I'm hoping that might allow me to finish the duology within 2026, and then it could also be a completed series that might be like on my best series of the year. That's kind of my ultimate plan for this series. I hope that it pans out. I hope that my excitement for it is worth the hype, or I hope that it is worth the hype in my head. I actually don't know what this book is about, so I'm going to read just a smidgen of the front flap here. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want to spoil myself or anything, but this says, uncover a world of mythical creatures, ruthless religion, and a magical past that refuses to be forgotten. When Soldier 11 was transformed into a herald, which is a magical killing machine in the Imperium's brutal conquests, her mind was wiped clean. But strange visions will show her glimpses of the ancient and mysterious island of Brittleton. Now, with the war won and the Imperium satisfied, she wants to find out who she really is. I'm not going to read any more, but I've heard great things about this. A lot of people who have similar tastes to me have enjoyed this series, and so I am excited to get to this physical TBR book. My next role was an adult read, and for this one I chose a book that fits not only the prompt, but it also fits something that I told you guys I was going to do last year. I did a Thanksgiving Day video where I asked you guys what your book recommendations for me would be, and one of those books was The Curse of Shalian. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a book I wanted to read for a while and I just haven't gotten to it, and I am excited to have an excuse to pick this up. It is adult fiction, adult fantasy, but you know, still fits. So I am excited about this. It's kind of old school, or at least it sounds a little old school fantasy. You're following a character who is assigned to be, I think, the secretary of the sister of the future king, I think is how the progression goes. And within this royal line, there is also some type of a curse that sits on their family. I don't exactly know what that means, but the person who has been tasked with being the secretary of the sister to the future king, that's a mouthful, but they have to deal with the curse in some way. So I've heard great things about this. I do really want to get to it. It's been on my TBR for a very, very long time. So it's also a TBR veteran. And I think 2026 is the year that I'll read it. The next prompt that I got was TBR. So this one was pretty simple to choose, although because it's not really narrow in scope, it was also a little difficult because I do have a lot of books that I want to read in January. But I decided to go with the sequel to Three Bags Full. Three Bags Full is a murder mystery where the sheep in this story actually solve the murder of their shepherd. So at the very, very beginning of the story, their shepherd is killed and you get to see them not necessarily witness the murder, but witness waking up and having their shepherd laying dead at their feet. And they take it among themselves to investigate in kind of a really cute way. It was very refreshing to see a story that I think really embodied what sheep would be thinking and kind of the oddities of humans to them, what we do that they don't necessarily understand and might take out of context. I thought it was a really, really fun time, and the sequel came out this year in 2025. It's called Big Bad Wool, or I guess it didn't come out in 2025. This came out, I think, in 2005 or something. It's like a 10-year reunion, or no, that'd be 20-year reunion. Was it 2005 or was it 2015? I can't remember. Maybe, hold on. Because this was like a reprint, and that's how I found out about it. It was 2005, 20 years. It's been 20 years. So I think the sequel had come out prior to, and it's just getting a reprint as well. But I'm very, very excited. I really loved this first book, and I know that there's a movie coming out about this as well. And so I just want to read the sequel as soon as I possibly can. My next role was not as nice to me as my previous ones, and that was an out of your comfort zone read. This one I did think about, and there is a book that I desperately want to read, but I am worried about it because I'm pretty sure it is deemed romantasy, and that is The Second Death of Locke. I know that this involves two characters. I think you're only following the female character. Is there two females? I don't remember now. But the main character, I'm pretty sure, is female, and she is what they call a well that has some type of magical ability where she can be used by a mage for the mage to pull power from. And her mage, she is in love with. I can't remember if it's two women or if it's a woman and a man. I don't remember all of the details, but I know that she is absolutely in love with this person, and they cannot know that she is what they call a well, which, like, I don't actually know exactly what that means, but I have heard that the storyline in general is very sweet and desperate, and it feels like a romantasy that maybe I could get behind. It's supposed to be slow burn. I don't know. I have hope for this one, and a lot of people that I have similar taste to have enjoyed it. Like some of the bigger booktubers that I have watched, it's been on like their best books of the year list. And so I do want to try it. Fingers crossed that even though it's out of my comfort zone, it will be one that just completely surprises me and I'll love it. My 6th prompt was a 5-star prediction, and I am going to use this to double up with the map of stories. So my 5-star prediction is also going to be paired with my prompt that I'm going to commit to for the map of stories for the month of January, which is Old Growth Forest. It's the historical fiction area in the map of stories, and I'm not going to be reading a historical fiction. I'm not going to try and get the bonus that you get for reading along with the genre. I'm just going to pick one of the prompts. And one of the prompts for this was that you had to have a single person on the front cover. So I am choosing Outlaw Planet, which has a single person on the front cover. It is a 5-star prediction of mine. It is a book that I get giddy every time I think about reading it because I really do think that it's just going to be amazing. It is a space opera about a person who is an outlaw. So it's a mix of sci-fi and westerns. I think that there's a gun in it that has some type of a spirit. Maybe it talks, which I've enjoyed that kind of trope in the past with Brandon Sanderson's stories. And I really have liked M.R. Carey in the past. I like their writing style, and I really, really enjoyed the characters in The Infinity Gate. And so I'm hoping that I get some of that in The Outlaw Planet as well. It sounds really fun. It sounds a little not out of my norm because I love a sci-fi, but it sounds like something I've never read before. And I'm hoping that I just absolutely love it. So this is my 5-star prediction and also my map of stories prompt for January. My last prompt for the Lost in the Library game board was a nonfiction. So once again, another not super nice prompt for me, but one that I do think is something I need to do. I did not read much nonfiction last year, if any nonfiction in 2025 is what I'm talking about. I did read some in 2024, but even then it wasn't much. And I have wanted to read from this author. I can't remember his full name. He's got 3 names, but he has a book out right now that is called Serviceberry, and it's very short. And so I should be able to get through it. Let me see. It's currently on my Libby. Robin Wall Kimmerer, maybe is how you pronounce it. And he's the author of Braiding Sweetgrass. So I tried Braiding Sweetgrass. I just couldn't get into the audio. I might need to pick that one up in person or physically. But with Serviceberry, I have heard really great things. I heard great things about Braiding Sweetgrass too. I just couldn't get into the audio for some reason. So I'm hoping Serviceberry, it's a little shorter. It's only 2 hours on audio. And I'm hoping if I can kind of sit down and read it in one setting, that it will give me a little bit of a boost to pick up even more nonfiction. Because sometimes when I do that, I'll get into a nonfiction and absolutely love it, and it will just kind of put a little spark in me to pick up more. That hasn't happened in a while. So I'm hoping that this little tiny book will help me be able to pick up more in 2026. So those are the books that I am reading due to the Lost in the Library game board. I do have a couple others that I would like to get through, 2 that I have to get through in the month of January. The first one is the podcast book for Not Reading for Content, which I don't actually know what that is yet. We are actually deciding our next podcast read this evening. So I will let you guys know in the first episode. It will be the first Friday in January that will get announced on Not Reading for Content. So if you guys are following along with the podcast, I'll link that down below and you guys can watch the first Friday's episode to figure out what we'll be reading together in February. I'm really excited about the choices that I have for this one, but who knows if one of my choices will get picked. The other book that I have to read in the month of January is Liar's Knot, and I'll actually be reading this in January and February because, I mean, it's chunky, and I do plan on annotating and tabbing this because I do want to do another series recap with this series. I did one for The Mask of Mirrors where I did a complete recap of the summary. So if you guys have read The Mask of Mirrors, but you have waited to read Liar's Knot and you need a little bit of a reminder, that video can help with that. It also goes through and outlines some themes that I just thought were absolutely amazing in the first book, and I would like to do the same kind of format for the Liar's Knot as well. I believe It's been a minute, but I'm almost positive this is my favorite of the series, which is shocking. Usually in a trilogy, my favorite's going to be the first or the last. It's never the middle. So the fact that this one has such a strong middle book, I love. So I'm happy that I'm going into this and going to be able to spend some more time with some characters that I absolutely love. So this is a must read in January and February. And then as far as some other books that I'll just throw out there to say that I would like to read them, The Incandescent is one of them by Emily Tesh. I have had this on my TBR for a really long time. I've wanted to read more by Emily Tesh. The only thing I've read so far by her is Silver in the Wood, I think is what it was called. It's a really short novella and I enjoyed it. And I would like to read a longer format book by this author, and I've heard great things about this one. So that's one of my planned reads, and then A Tangle of Time, just to get another series under my belt in 2026. I want to continue on with Hexologists and follow Is and War solving mysteries and saving people with their magic. I just think it's a really fun series. I love the relationship between Is and War, and I want to spend more time with them. So that's another book I'll throw out there that I might get to in January. So those are my planned reads for the first month of the new year. I am excited. I have a lot of bangers on this list. I just think it's going to be an excellent reading year. I am so excited also to continue with TBRathon throughout the entire year this year with the map of stories. I think it's going to be just kind of a great motivator for me to be a little bit more picky about some of the books that I read and also travel amongst a fantasy land in the map of stories with all these different genres. So to see how many of them I can get to, maybe some of them I will read along with the genre, but just not this time because historical fantasy or historical fiction is not really my jam. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you have read any of these, let me know. What is your January TBR looking like? Are you really excited about a book? Are you struggling to figure out what you should pick up? I'd love to chat with you guys in the comments. If you aren't feeling chatty, but you still want to let me know that you're here, leave me a little mask emoji for the liar's knot so I know that you guys are with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.